your community. Today, you may say the worst scenarios, which is what? There's more people who would go to their village man. There's nothing wrong with your village man, supporting your village man, but you're not going to go into a national conference like this. And that's where the danger, in my view, is. That these organizations were national census building. They serve to help the whole entire community, and they gathered them together. Today, this is not the case. And the more we do not have this national sense, the less we can offer. So what are we going to have? We're going to end up having جمعية الشعر وجبن وكذا. يعني is that where we're heading? Because this is where it seems we are. And what we say is, let's not criticize others for what they did. جزاهم الله خير. They did very well. But now it's our turn to go ahead and do what we can do. Unless we want نحاسبهم نديهم على 50 years, we can do that too.
One quick comment before we go to the next question, just to kind of build off of what they're saying. There's two ways to think of this. A lot of us are saying, well, it kind of goes back to a question that was asked earlier. How do we reach out to the audiences that aren't in this room? And I think the youth groups are one of those audiences. How to reach out to the parents, how to reach out to audiences. And in my personal opinion, I think that the best way to do it is to immerse yourselves in their lives. I mean, if you want to reach out to a cab driver, sit in his cab. If you want to reach out to the kids on those playgrounds, go to the playgrounds and figure out what it is that those people need. Because sometimes, as organizations, we take a step back and we are focused on the mission. And it is important to know what your mission is so that you stay on that straight path. But beyond looking at the mission, you have to realize that you have to cater and personalize what you're delivering to the people that need it. Because if you're offering something and it's not something that they need, they're not going to take advantage of what you're offering. But if you're offering something and you're involving them directly and you're initiating things that are, I guess, personal to them, something that they know that they need, something that they can appreciate directly, then there's no way that they won't appreciate that effort. There's no reason for them to not step up and to get involved. And I think that's what we have to keep in mind when we're talking about organizations. And sorry, I didn't cut you off. I saw your hand was up. Go ahead.
Okay, outside Dr. Let me put it this way, outside just the Yemeni organization, let me focus on all the organizations with all respect for everyone here. So if we're going to focus about this organization and the benefit they are, somebody really, they taking a fund on behalf of the community. So who are the right people to question where this benefit is really, it's being used to the benefit of the community? We have the right as a community to question that. How do you think that as a leader? I mean, how are we going to put it this?
أولاً الحمد لله رب العالمين ما فيش معنا بالجالية اليمنية fund from anywhere. فبالتالي I know you are talking about.
I'm talking on behalf of myself as a journalist, because I will raise this question later on.
Right. We're still in the Yemeni community trying to see if we could get some funds. But as for other organizations, how your questions? Well, first, lady, you're in the media business. What you need to do first is really understand what these organizations do. You cannot ask anybody about what they are doing or what they have done. كتر الله خيره من سعى. لكن ما.
They get funds from the government on behalf of the community. Why you cannot ask this question?
I encourage you. I definitely do. We encourage, and this is, I think, the right of every individual, because these organizations, by law, are public organizations. They are non-profit organizations. And I have to tell you this, all you have to do is go to their websites and you will have all the information about these organizations from A to Z. And if you cannot get that information from their websites, go to the state they operate in and you will get all the information about every organization, not just about every organization, about every organization and every member in that organization. And it's your right, definitely is, and I agree with you.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions?
It seems that we have the same problem with our organizations that Ahmed spoke about, entrepreneurship. Everything's on a micro level. How can we come together to form a high impact organization? Anyone?
I think we can come together by trying to think, not local, but thinking global. This is why, maybe we are slightly different from the outset. We were designed to be, more of a national organization, more even a global, organization. And that creates also some problems for us. Like when, trying to come to this community from 2005, we're really pleased to have this acceptance, more widespread acceptance of us here. It becomes an issue of territory. We are still thinking in maybe in tribal ways, that this is, my land, your land, what are you doing here? We need maybe to shed that kind of thinking and think of ourselves, it does not hurt to think of ourselves and focus as Yemeni Americans, because nobody else is going to pay attention to our problem. When we think of, we can also think of ourselves as Arab Americans and contribute as Arab Americans, but also we need to think about our individual situation, because nobody's going to come and solve our Yemeni problems, because we have a special set, of problems. There has to be, I think, a intention. We have, it's a cultural change. We have to understand that, when you form a nonprofit community organization, you are there to serve your community. It's a volunteer job. It's a very hard job. And we've spent 8 years on AAYSP. None of us collected a penny for this. It's a lot of work. And, the election in New York that's coming up and organizations that's here, they're missing this, they're missing the whole entire purpose of forming a community organization. It's not about them becoming leaders. It's not about them taking pictures. It's not about them saying, I am this and I am that. It's about what you're going to do for this community. What are you going to serve it? I'm very humble that I'm ready to step down. Anyone, please take this, because this is a big responsibility. Okay, it's not a status and looking and I'm this and that. We deliberately changed the name, for us. I'm called the director because we didn't want to even use words like president. Because people would think, oh, they're just trying to make themselves president or something. And we deliberately changed that. We use director, co-director, and so on and so forth. Because as long as our organizations, we have to develop this culture of community service. And we have to understand what it really means. That when you form an organization, you're responsible to provide some services. You are, when you are a leader, you are the most responsible servant and not the Lord. And our problem is that we're bringing issues back home from Yemen, people that feel disenfranchised and they did not have, opportunities to lead and to become powerful or did not have that chance, and they want to exercise that here. And they think that having an organization and leading an organization gives them that ego and boost and that they mean something or they become something. We've lost, sight of the true meaning of community service and the purpose of forming that organization. If you share the same vision that we do and what Brother Hakim has articulated, that we're here to serve our community, we're here to serve this, community, the larger Arab community, the larger Muslim community, the larger American community, our neighbors, our friends. It's about service. It's giving something of yourself, something you're not going to get paid for. You do it, lillahi ta'ala, you do it for yourself, you do it for the love of others. It's the most important thing and the most valuable thing you can do. Brother Hakim said, I'm spending 3 days, I would rather do my job. Believe me, I enjoy this more than I enjoy my job. And you're not paying me for it. So if we all can agree as organizations and we clear the mission in our head that we are here to serve our community, we're here to uplift our community, so we can proudly say, Ana Yemeni, then we will have no problem. We can all be 10 organizations working different ways serving our community. We can be under an umbrella organization, coordinating our efforts and working together and pulling our resources. Wonderful. But we need that clarity. We need that cultural change. We need to know why we're doing this. If you join an AAYSP chapter in Michigan, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if it's clearly you understand you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it to serve, then you're going to be very productive, very effective, and the rest of it will come together.
And I just want to add to what Dr. Nasser said. الكوفية البيضاء ما تنفعش للناس كلها. يعني it's شيء غريب, and I think it's very strange that we say, well, we need, احنا اليمنيين, we need an organization for all of us. يا أخي, all of not the same. Let's stop thinking in this term. Dr. Nasser's needs from the community is different from X person من الناس that have certain needs. You cannot build one organization to serve everybody and think of it as احنا والله بعدين ايش هنحرر امريكا ولا ايش يعني. احنا we need more organizations like this. We need organizations. I need Medical Association for Yemeni Americans. I need Pharmacist Association of Yemeni Americans. I need an Engineering Association. Let it be. Let so many organizations work in their own field, and with what Dr. Nasser said, and see if you could coordinate between them. The idea of having one white كوفية للناس كلنا ندخل تحتها بس عشان ندخل نرتسم تحتها وبعدين كل أمورنا حتنحل. I don't think it's a useful idea. I think it's a حق يراد به باطل. ده إحنا نشتري منظمة لنا. طيب أنا أعمل منظمة. طيب what happened? الناس اللي في نيويورك how can I help them? How can you help if you live in Hamtramck? How can you help people in Dearborn? Legally speaking. So we need to think, how can we contribute? Do what we believe in. Provide the help. Let others do what they are doing. It's a big buy. Well, alhamdulillah, ما عاد فيش معنا لا باي ولا مرق. فبالتالي we need more professional organizations. We need more professional people to be engaged in the needs of the community. I don't care how many organizations we have. I don't care how many people we have. The more, the better. And once you go into the actual work, you're going to know that you need to work with others. To do a conference like this, if you're isolated in your box, you're not going to be able to do it.
Sorry, due to a time constraint, we'll take one more question, and there's a girl in the back that's been holding her hand up the whole time. Comment. Any other comments, we'll hold it up for later because we're running a little late on our schedule. At this time, we're going to go into the segment in which we'll divide into 3 different presentations. First, I will describe the topic for each presentation, who is presenting, and the room which it will be held in. The first presentation will be in regards to leadership in the professional world, and it will be presented by Dr. Mazen Bassa, Vice President of Farmore Pharmacy, and Mohammed Sahuba, President of Farmore Pharmacy. This will be held in Superior Room. The second presentation will be, the topic will be mentoring for Yemeni American students. This will be held in the Erie Room, which is to my left. And the presenter is Taha Al-Hamdi, board member of the National Association of Yemen Americans. And the last topic in the presentation is sports organizations in pursuit of education, which will be presented by Hossein Ahmed, a member of the Michigan Youth Association and currently an accountant student, a senior accountant student at Wayne State University, along with Mohammed Riyashi, board member in the Youth Association, and also a Wayne State student. You can now separate to different rooms. The Erie room is to the left, the Michigan room is to the right.